Now we can get to the 4.3 patch notes. The stuff that's actually new. It's coming out on Tuesday. Actually, no, it's not, because Tuesday is probably going to be... No, Monday's all-day maintenance? I don't know. I have no chance of catching up in time for Tuesday. Because Monday is going to be all-day maintenance. But I might be streaming this regularly over the coming week, so who knows? As to what. So that's a patch that I have been explicitly told, do not watch this trailer. Big spoils. Main scenario quests. Hien looking at Itsuyu as she attempts to step on an orange, maybe? Four lords have been added. It is a tortoise this time. Sure. Return to Ivalice is about a lighthouse that is apparently at the end of FF12, something I've never seen, but hey, it's probably cool. Matsuno's the dopest. Here is a bunch of new story quests. No, sorry. Here is a bunch of new story quests. Custom deliveries. Two princesses of Sui no Sato. Oh. The Namazu are the new beast tribe. Then they're going to be the crafting guys. Which is weird to me, because the Ananta are jewelers and crafters. Tribal settlement can be found at a location below. Oh, they've actually added an Aetherite over there. Great. That's fantastic. The Doman Enclave reconstruction has begun. So this is something for crafters to do, I assume. You can now donate unneeded items. Oh, this is actually for everybody. In exchange for items donated, you'll receive a gratuity that amounts to slightly more than would normally be received when selling the items to a vendor. Sure. The Enclave will get bigger over time, and you have a 100 item buyback. Great. Additions and adjustments have been made to rewards for lost canals and hidden canals. Great. Following additions and adjustments to the dungeons for adventure squads. Okay. I've never actually run an adventure squad. Ever. Maybe I should do that. But, more importantly, you can now run an adventurer squad through 1 to 50. Aurum Vale was the last one. And that's a big deal. Getting a character to 50 through Cutter's Cry, Zmail Darkhold, and Aurum Vale was always the worst. As I think Aurum Vale is probably still the hardest dungeon in the entire game. And you immediately know you're going to have a bad time when somebody just runs forward and triggers everything in that fucking room. Now, probably the weirdest thing here, somebody just pointed out, is that Dusk Vigil is not added, but Sawmel is added. That's weird. I wonder if they had trouble with it. Glamour Dresser and Armoire will have been added to the Grand Company Barracks. Great. Oh, wait. Whoa. These new furnishings are for glamours for squad members. Oh, you can now make your squad not look like a bunch of chotes. Great. Well, that's just super. You can now dye your squad. New craftable items at the company workshop for the submarine shit, I'm going to assume. New state vendor, the Journeyman Salvager, has been added. Oh, wow! He does Calamity Salvager stuff. That's great. Namazu items. Furnishing design contest winners. Great. What is a message book? Oh, it's a guest book for your free company house. Weird. Okay. Orchestrian's been added. Aquariums have been increased massively. That's super. But, careful, if your aquarium is clipping, it will be deleted. So don't clip your aquariums. Added new fish. Added new flowers. The music for housing states can now be switched to that of their respective city-states. Hey, Paige, you still in here? That means that fucking song that you hate, it's gone. You can now hear different music. Paige? Okay. Oh, man. She started humming that once and she got super pissed. Let's see. New triple triad. Scoring system for fashion reports been made easier. Great. Chocobo racing is now... God, awful. Who gives a shit? Who gives a goddamn shit? Lord of Verminion. NPC opponents have been added. Which means you can just play. Great. Performance has now had flute, oboe, clarinet, fife, and panpipes added. And the old ones have been increased in quality. And you can now do it in more places. Isn't that nice? Challenge logs will have been added to Eureka, making it easier for guys like me, who barely played that shit, to fucking get good and get the stuff. Great. Rewards using Chloe's gold certificate accommodation and Chloe's silver certificate have been changed. Sure. Requires Omega Delta Escape. Great. New emotes. New hair. The hair looks terrible. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Something I can actually talk about with some level of expertise. Right, so, a couple things. These are all great. These are all really good. So, number one, Power Slash gets a Dark Arts potency increase. So, it used to do 300, and I believe now it does 440. So, that's a typo. That should be 140. Dark Arts always does 140. However, the old thing used to be that when you if you use Dark Arts on your Power Slash, it'd be totally pointless, because all it would do is increase enmity. Now, what it would do is it would increase enmity from 5 times to 11 times the damage. However, because you lost out on damage from 300 to 400, it wasn't great. And it felt like a waste of a Dark Arts. Now, this, I was reading the math on it last night. This is going to mean that if you pop a Dark Arts on your Power Slash, this is going to rocket you ahead in aggro like crazy. It's going to be a hell of a lot easier to... Not easier, it's nice. This isn't a power increase. It just means you're not going to waste your Dark Arts event, essentially. But it's nice to have. Right? It's just like, oh, it's not wasted anymore. Grit having an MP cost reduction is fantastic. I would prefer it to be taken off the global cooldown, but we'll see. That being said, how much has its MP cost been reduced? Because if they reduced it by half, that's pretty good. Dark Passenger had its potency increased, and its Dark Arts potency increased, and it increases enmity, and it's had its recast taken down. So, Dark Passenger was the recipient of what might have been one of the most pointless and unnecessary buffs in all of the Heavensward to Stormblood shits. I don't know why. It was so bad, I think the math came out that you had to Dark Arts it for it to be worth it, and it was only worth it if you had like 6, 7, or maybe even 8+ enemies in a room. Now that Dark Passenger costs the same as Dark Arts and does the same potency as Dark Arts, it is a DPS increase as long as there are 2 people. Makes it a viable AoE. Fine. Great. It also makes it a decent AoE if you Dark Arts it. You can throw this in your AoE rotation next to Quietus. Why not? Dark Mind has had its reduction to magic vulnerability changed from 15 to 30%, and it lost its Dark Arts effect. That's great. That's just great. Using Dark Arts before that cooldown every single time was such a fucking pain in the ass, especially since it got that horrible nerf down to 15%. Made it totally pointless to use without Dark Arts. It's nice. I appreciate it. That is a button that I now appreciate. I like that. Let's see. Dark Side no longer turns off when you die. That's nice when you get rezzed. Or just die. Shadow Wall has had its recast time reduced from 180 to 120 seconds. Great. Now you can use Rampart and Shadow Wall the same way that a Paladin would use Rampart and Sentinel. Wait, not Sentinel, the other one. I forget. But, good. When I was running O3S, Omega? Whatever. It was infuriating to see that I had to time my cooldowns in such a way that I had to do them early enough that a boss would hit me on like second 2 of some of my cooldowns, because I just don't have enough of them as Dark Knight, especially for physical attacks. So, great. Plunge. Oh, this is the weird one. You can now Dark Arts Plunge. Anybody ask for this? I don't know. Dark Arts effect of increased enmity has been added. Okay. It's fine, I guess. That's... more importantly, the delay before using a skill after this action has been reduced. Now, Plunge always had this weird thing where it was kind of sticky. Unlike the Warrior Gap Closer or the Dragoon Gap Closers. So if they changed it to work more like that, that's legitimately great. The most interesting thing about that, and the only use case that I can see for it, is there are situations in which you're doing your combo. You do your regular slash combo, then you do Siphon Strike, right? And then you hit your Dark Arts, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna hit Soul Eater, or I'm gonna hit Blood Spiller, or whatever, right? But an AoE forces you to move. Like, you absolutely have to move or you're gonna die. But your Dark Arts has what, a 10-second timer? And maybe it's annoying to get back. Or you have to move consistently, or for a while. Now, at the very least, you have a chance to not lose that Dark Arts proc, because it's going to have its damage applied to your Plunge. The only other change I would make to Plunge, honestly, I think this is pointless, but I could see why it would be useful. It's not going to be appreciable, because I don't think anybody actually saves Plunge for movement. Everybody uses it for the damage. But maybe it'll be someone worthwhile to save it for the damage. I mean, you're going to pull better with this, because you're going to hit you're going to Dark Arts, then hit Unmend, then Plunge. But so that'll help a little, but nice enough. Dark Arts has a 2-second cooldown now. That's weird. And here's the biggest buff by far. I don't know if you can see it here. HP. So Soul Survivor used to be a fucking terrible skill. Just awful. Just the worst. You would cast it on an ad, and you would get 20% of your life and MP back. If it died within 15 seconds. Just shit. Now, you'll get 30% back. That's nice. But more importantly, if it runs out, you'll get that 20% back. So, if you're fighting a boss, use it. Use it every 2 minutes. Use it. The only time you should not use it every 2 minutes is if you know there's an ad phase coming up in which you could get maybe 30% out. But use it all the time. Because it means every 2 minutes, similar to Shadow Wall, you will get a reverse cooldown in which you are healed. That you can plan for, even if your timing's really good, you can if your timing's really good, you can pop your you can do fucking Shadow Wall or Rampart, whichever you prefer. And those will last 10 seconds. So what you would do is you would throw down Soul Survivor, bam, 15 seconds. Then you would throw down Shadow Wall, and then you have 10 seconds. Then 5 seconds later, you cast Blackest Night, and you get your 7 seconds. Then the boss hits you. You have eaten a shield worth 20% of your HP. You have cut that damage by 20 or 30%. And then 4 or 5 seconds later, when the healer is healing you, and maybe they don't need to talk, maybe they throw out 1 Cure 2 or something, then bam, you're going to get some of your HP and MP back. It's good. I like that. That's a huge change. This is really good. This is a good idea. Now, I think Dark Arts is used way too much as a Dark Knight, and I'd rather go back to the old way of playing it. I miss my dot. But these are all good changes, and they're all in the right direction. The only thing that's baffling is that they are aware that people use Dark Arts too much, and they gave Dark Arts to Plunge, and they added more Dark Arts stuff to Passenger, and they added more Dark Arts stuff to Power Slash. But even with all of that, because of the removal of the Dark Arts stuff on Dark Mind, you're actually going to be hitting the button less, considerably. Monk gains an enmity reducer, sure. Brotherhood now grants meditative brotherhood. Don't know what that does. Samurai, who I don't play, but I'm interested in, are gaining across-the-board buffs all the way down the line. Rogue and ninjas can now sprint and hide at the same time. Doesn't really make sense, but that's cool. Ethereal manipulation and between the lines for black mages are now faster to use. Let's see. Whispering Dawn is now... Holy shit! Instant. Okay. Aether Pact is now down to 3 seconds. Great. Fey Union can now be interrupted. Sure. And Dissolve Union has been... Yeah, sure. I don't really play Scholars either, so I'm not super familiar. But hey. Astros. I like Astros. Astro's my healer of choice. So let's see what we get here. Malefic, Malefic 2, and Malefic 3 now spend less time to cast. This is smart. This is going to let you do your card shit more easily. Because if you're not throwing out a heal, you can cast Malefic 3. And then while your Malefic 3 is throwing out, you can do your card stuff in the 1.5 seconds remaining to you in the global cooldown. That's smart. Lightspeed MP cost reduction changed from 25 to 50%. That's good. That's 50% loss of MP use. And you will now be able to... oh, wow. Also, reduction to attack magic potency has been removed. Recast time has been improved. So now Lightspeed is going to basically, when you're in... oh, shit! I gotta cast! Gotta move! Gotta cast! You're not gonna... it's gonna basically cost a lot less and work a lot better. Great. And Aspected Helios, which is the bread and butter AoE, has 2.5 seconds. Probably in line with these changes, but not quite as much. Arcanist, Summer, and Scholar Pet actions with cast times can now be cancelled in order to use a different one. I don't know how I feel about that. Players can no longer change roles, actions, while the system is checking member status prior to entering an instant. Man, whatever. New dungeon, Swallow's Compass, has been added. 330 or above? I'm 332, so perfect. New trial's been added. That is a spoiler. This is the new Chrysalis. Players will receive echo effects in Jade Stoa. Ridorana Lighthouse has been added. This is from FF14. Each party, it's been on treasure chest. You're in a separate reward. Players outside the sealed area during a boss battle now have the option to move directly to the area and enter the fight. Oh, fucking thank God. Now when you get locked out in the raids, you can finally walk in. Great. The following adjustments have been made to Palace of the Dead. You strengthen your Aetherpool arm and armor to +10 in addition to clearing floor 50. You can forge an Aetherpool grip, which can be used to exchange for the weapon of your choice. Please note that creating the grip will increase the strength by 10. Oh, it's not going to just eat it. Interesting. To obtain an Aetherpool weapon to use outside, speak with the NPC, and it requires 3 grips. It's gonna be... Okay. So it's not going to complete... Okay. So upon clearing floor 100, a previously acquired Aetherpool weapon may be enhanced further by trading in more grips. While your Palm Mantra of Intuition is in effect, the name Palace of the Dead will be displayed on the ranking. These are the players will no longer be looped. Got it. Alright. That's good. That makes it a little easier to go through that shit. Following additions and adjustments have been made to the Forbidden Land, Eureka, and Nemos. That's the first one. Location of will be displayed on the player list, can now be sorted. Prioritized players. Yeah, sure. Omega Sigmascape crystalloids have been wait. Weekly Omega Sigmascape. Weekly limit on Sigmascape version 4 is still... Okay, so you can go gear up using this shit. Message will apply if you're applying to join a raid, which will cause you to forfeit one of the... Okay, there's no excuse for this shit anymore. If you join a fucking group that says 2 chests, and you go in there and go, yeah, 2 chests, but there's 1 chest, fuck off. Fuck off, you fuck. That's awful. That is the worst. And yes, people are still going to fuck people over, but that means you get to be toxic. Drop rate for Kamui Fifes in Shinryu's Domain is now, yeah. Okay, we got to talk about this. So, the loot rule for Alliance raids is now locked to greed only. So I looked this up, and I actually, a while ago, suggested this change using the same logic that Yoshi P does. It is awful to go into, say, Dunscape, and everyone in there is on a class that they don't know how to play explicitly. They're all on their alts. And they're terrible. And they're awful. So I very much understand the idea that you can make it greed only. And that way, you go in on a class that you're good with, that you're geared up with, and you can get your glamour gear or whatever with that. Because there's still a lockout, I can see it being worthwhile to run it multiple times to get the thing, because people will get the items that they want, or they're only going to go in for the 1 item or 2 items that they want. There's obvious problems with this. The obvious problem is I play tank and I want the fucking tank gear. And now I'm actually going to have to compete for the tank gear every single time. I don't think there's a good solution here. The good gear is going to be... The good looking stuff is going to be hoarded by everybody, no matter what. I think... How do I put this? I think what's going to happen is that it's going to be easier to play these raids a little bit. Not that much, because the main problem is mechanics, not people not knowing how to play their classes. But it is going to be much harder to get the stuff that you want. If it was up to me, I would try and institute a situation in which at least 1 piece of gear for every class drops per run. Because that's the worst. And it's going to be even worse now when, oh, I haven't seen a tank thing drop in 6 runs. Oh, cool, a tank dropped. Oh, the ninja got it. Or, whatever. But I very much understand the intent behind this, and I'm interested to see how it works out in a situation in which people are going in on their mains. Now, if you go in with a full party, obviously this is not going to apply to you. Because those parties were all greed anyway. Everyone just shared between their alts. Duty roulette of normal raids has been added. Huh. Weird. All of Alexander normal, Omega normal, Omega Delta, and Omega Sigma normal have been added. And the roulette bonus does not seem high. That seems low, actually. 80 poetics, 60 creation, and 15 mendacity. Seems low. Expert roulette got Swallow's Compass added. Mentor roulette had... Man, this trial must be some shit, because it's question marks. Let's see. Okay. So I was concerned a little bit ago, and here it is. Number of... Type of elegant tomestones received for completion of duty roulette main scenario have been adjusted. You used to get 200 tomestones of poetics. That's not enough. Now you get 300. That's a lot. You get 100 of creation. That's plenty. And you get 50 of mendacity, which means it's current. Along with 2 million XP. That might be worth it. That might be worth it. Because it's still so... Like, it's so easy. It's so easy to go in there. I'll do it once. So a friend of mine just says they got almost 3.5 million XP out of it. So, yeah. So this is the kind of thing that I would put like over here. I would just where I am right now. I would just put Star Trek or something. So, yeah, that's a lot of rewards. Like, I still think they should be more because it sucks. But yeah, somebody pointed out you get about 2.5 dungeons worth of XP for about 2 dungeons worth of time, and it's easy. So, like, it's unfailable. It's not like when you roll roulette and you get fucking Oran Vale, and then all of a sudden your day is ruined. Content and drop rates of treasure coffers in the new dungeons? Sure. You can now get hunt items? Sure. Players can now exchange Rabanastron coins for some Ryaku for some weave and polish by speaking with the Ralger. Okay, that's fine. That's to upgrade your tombstone stuff. New PvP stuff. Tribind's gone. Fuck. PvP traits. Awesome. The available frontline campaign will now change daily. That's great. That's genuinely fantastic. That means that for your roulette, you will now actually see Seal Rock again. That's great. That's good. I like that. Following adjustments have been made to the Borderlands ruins. I've never seen this map. Okay. Daily roulette frontline has been changed to daily challenge. One of the currently available campaign can be accessed. Okay, great. The feast, who cares? Can't get through. New stuff. That looks like gear based on the prior has been implemented. What is this? Is this the stuff for the new dungeon? Maybe. New recipes. Sure. Certain items. You can now scent them. Sure. Following items can now be equipped by guys. Ah, you can equip all the bunny shit. Good for you. Craftsmanship recommended. Huh. Interesting. That's going to be very helpful, actually. Quick synth rates have been increased. Sure. Whoa, really? Wait. Quick synthesis success rates have been increased. That's great, actually. New items are available from the script was changed. New miners and canners, locations unspoiled should have been moved. New fish have been added. New items have been added. All fishing locations on the steppe are 60. Message will now display upon commencing fishing or spearfishing, or quest-related stuff can happen. Oh, that's nice. Number of fish that must be caught before swimming shadows disappear has reduced. Yes, thank God. I hate that shit. You can now speak to this bitch to do whatever. You can receive guild experience points and some scripts. Sure. You can gain the ability to change what she looks like. New mounts. That's a dog. Magic evil dog. Weird. New minions. These two are great. New achievements. A list of achievements nearing completion will now display upon login. And when you enter an area, a list of achievements that can be earned there will now be displayed. Interesting. You can now do all sorts of shit in rooms. Cross-world link shells have been implemented to enable communication. Oh, that's interesting. Players will be able to form... still only 64 people. Fuck it. It's worthless. Completely worthless. Needs to be infinite. Glamour dresser has been adjusted as follows. Additional items can now be converted into glamours. Great. Glamours in the dresser can now be restored to the original form as items. Great. Items can be placed in the armoire can now be converted into glamours. Great. Individual glamour stored in the glamour dresser can now be directly applied to currently equipped gear and does not require glamour prisms. Awesome. Glamours in the dresser can now be searched for using search for blah 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 blah. And gear with durability less than 100%. Sure, that makes sense. Glamour plates have been adjusted as follows. All glamours on plate can now be dispelled as once. Don't really know exactly what that means. Use dispel glamour placement. Sure. Glamour plates can now be linked to gear sets. This means if I want my white mage to look different from my astro while using the same gear, they can. What this means, if I wanted to, is I could make it so that my specialist crafters, the ones that I really care about, actually look like the crafters that they look like. Now, somebody in chat does make a decent point. There needs to be more plates. There are currently 15 jobs. There are only 10 plates, but still. You can now get stuff from retainers. Recorded duties have changed. Some alliance stuff. More cutscenes have been added. Map icons for non-player party members have been adjusted for easier differentiation. Sure, that's never going to come up ever. Following features have been added to the timers. Who gives a shit? You'll unlock quests for Summoner and Scholar will now appear together in the side quest section of the scenario guide upon completion. Sure. Wink has been named Wink Right. Yada, yada, yada. Full screen color filtering options have been added to accessibility options. That's fantastic. This is for the colorblind people. Display achievements, sure. Expanded mouse and sound settings. Shortcuts tab stuff. Macros. Let's see. New placeholder's been added. Known issues. If you fucking clip your aquarium, you'll die. Don't clip your aquarium. It's terrible. Don't do it. Don't do that. Man, no matter how much I sit up, I always just kind of slouch down. All right. That should do it.